Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we will be discussing how I lost 40 pounds in 90 days. Okay, now while this video is about how I specifically lost 40 pounds in 90 days, I'm confident that you guys can use some of the principles that I did in order to embark on your weight loss journey and lose weight. Now, one more thing before I jump into my background. This video is specifically for people who either just want to lift, who are interested in losing weight, regardless of your activity level, but or excuse me, regardless of your exercise history or athletic history. But it's primarily for people who did a bulk after lifting weights in the gym, gaining weight, and want to lose that fat. But anyways, we'll jump right in. All right, so some background about me. I've been bodybuilding for about 8 years. I started out as 140 pound, 9% body fat, bulked all the way up to 200 pounds, about 25% body fat. I've done multiple bulk cut cycles, but this specific bulk cycle occurred from 2021 and 2022 when I bulked all the way up to 205 pounds at about 25% body fat and cut all the way, or 23% body fat, 25% body fat, and cut all the way down to about 160 pounds, 7% body fat. Here's what I did. All right, step one, I found my maintenance calories. Okay. For those of you who don't know, your maintenance calories are the amount of calories you need to eat to maintain your body weight. Okay. So you find these maintenance calories by going to Google and searching TDEE calculator. Okay, that's TDEE calculator. You open up the calculator and you enter in the information it requests from you. Now, most of the information it requests from you pertains to your activity level, okay? And so your maintenance calories are dictated by your activity level. So the more active you are, the more calories you can eat every day and not gain weight. The less active you are, the smaller your maintenance calories are, okay? So my maintenance calories, according to the calculator, are about 3,000 calories per day, all right? So that means if I wanted to lose weight, about I had to eat under 3,000 calories every single day. Now, one thing I will say, this this TDEE calculator is an approximation. It is an estimate. I will note two things that are very important. The higher your activity level is, meaning the more exercise you do, the less accurate this calculator is, and the less exercise you do, the less active you are, the more accurate it is. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So, for example, whenever I'm doing lots of cardio, my maintenance is anywhere from about 4,600 to 6,500 calories a day. Yes, I exercise that much, and so the calculator can't take that into account. It thinks it's unreasonable. But anyways, so what I would recommend you do, all right, once you enter in the information, get your maintenance calories, you want to eat at the maintenance calories it gives you for about 2 weeks, and you want to see if there's any weight fluctuations. For example, if it says your maintenance calories are 3,000 calories per day, but you're gaining weight, that means your maintenance calories are actually lower, and you need to eat less food in order to maintain weight. If you're eating your maintenance calories that it gives you and you're um, losing weight, that means your maintenance calories are actually higher, and you need to eat more food. So I recommend eating at what this says your maintenance is for 2 weeks and watching for fluctuations in your weight. Okay, and if you maintain weight for 2 weeks, that's good. That's your true maintenance. All right. Now, here's what I did. I knew I wanted to lose weight quickly, and I found that in order to maintain my strength in the gym and to maintain my muscle size, and to control my cravings, the largest deficit I could eat was a 1,000 calorie deficit daily. Now there's 500 calories. No, there's 3,500 calories in the pound, and I knew that okay, if I eat in a 1,000 calorie deficit daily, I can lose about 2 pounds of fat every single week. And that's pretty fast. Okay. Now the reason I chose a 1,000 calorie deficit is because I found that a 1,000 calorie deficit, it was about the largest deficit I could run without starving. It's the largest deficit I can run without losing muscle. And it's the largest deficit I can run without losing strength. So I eat a 1,000 calorie deficit daily. Now you don't have to eat in a 1,000 calorie deficit daily. You just want to do the largest number that you can sustain. Okay. For some people that might be 500. For some people that might be 250. For some people that might be 1,500. But I found for me specifically that eating in a 1,000 calorie deficit daily allowed me to maintain strength muscle and prevented me from starving every day. Now, step three, I intermittent fast. Okay, now intermittent fast is when you eat in a specific allotted window of time. Okay, so for example, my first meal was at 12 p.m. My last meal was at 8 p.m. Okay, so I woke up at 5 a.m. I didn't eat for 7 hours, and I went to my last meal was at 8 p.m. I would go to bed at 9 p.m. My last meal would be at 8 p.m. Okay, now the purpose of intermittent fasting. it allows you to better control your hunger, right? And you're, in theory, you should be eating fewer calories because you're eating in a allotted window of time, all right? Now, one thing, when you from the time when you wake up to the time you go to bed, you can have black coffee. Black coffee is great. Caffeine reduces hunger, and it's something to help um, uh, curb your cravings. And it's it's not food, but it is a liquid that's not water. So I highly recommend intermittent fasting. It's definitely an aspect of my weight loss success that I attribute to losing weight so easily. So that's intermittent fasting. Now, I did 16-hour fast in 8-hour eat window. So from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. I wouldn't eat. So I was 16-hour fast. Um, you don't have to do 16-hour fast, 8-hour eat. You can do 20-hour fast, 4-hour eat. You can do 12-hour fast, 12-hour eat. You can do whatever you want, but I highly recommend you do some form of intermittent fasting. It makes weight loss much easier. Okay. Now, step 4. In terms of the foods I ate, the foods I ate were highly satiating foods. Now, the highly satiating foods were a high protein diet. Now, most of my meals were extremely high protein. I was eating about 1.25 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight, and that's because I was running a deficit of 1,000 calories per day. I didn't want to lose strength. I didn't want to lose muscle. I knew that I spent a lot of time bulking, building muscle, and I didn't want to lose it by any means necessary. I wanted to keep all my muscle, so I ate lots of protein. And the benefit of a high protein is that it's extremely nutrient dense and it's extremely satiating. So, I would eat chicken breasts, fish, and the fish included tilapia, flounder, pink salmon, cod, tuna. So, also ground turkey, ground beef. I ate 93.7 because it had the best leanness to calorie ratio. Lots of beef liver, Greek yogurt, eggs, and egg whites. I highly recommend egg whites because they're very satiating and they're extremely low in calories. For example, 50 one carton of egg whites is approximately 250 calories and 50 grams of protein. Now, a lot of people don't like egg whites because they don't taste particularly good. However, we're eating to maintain muscle. Okay, so I mean, 50 grams of protein and 250 calories is great. Again, all those proteins I listed. The benefit of eating a high protein diet is that the foods are extremely low calorie and they're extremely high in protein. Okay, that's the benefit of eating, high protein. So, for example, 12 ounces of chicken breast is like 390 calories, 75 grams of protein. 4 ounces of fish, universally, like tilapia, for example, is 90 calories, 19 grams of protein. A cup of Greek yogurt, oikos, is universally 15 grams of protein, 90 calories. So it's very satiating and high protein, low calorie, very beneficial. Now, at every meal, I would also encourage you to eat vegetables. What I like to do is I go to the store, I buy like 9 different vegetables. I'll buy about a pack of corn, carrots, peas, green beans, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, that good stuff. And what I'll do is I'll literally put it in one pot and I'll boil it and cook it all at once. And what I'll do is I'll have a cup or two of vegetables with every single meal. Now, the purpose of eating vegetables with your meal is to be more satiating. So you'll be less hungry because they're so nutrient dense and they fill you up. And it's extremely low in calories. You have like 1 to 3 cups of veggies with each meal. You'll be much more full, control your hunger more. All right. I also recommend 0 calorie drinks. I'm a fan of black coffee, but you can also consume 0 calorie energy drinks because caffeine helps curb and reduce your hunger, reduces your appetite. But I also recommend like sparkling water, 0 calorie sparkling water. Those are also good. So just you can also consume 0 calorie energy drinks or just drinks in general to help control and curb your hunger. Now, step 5, here's the exercise I did. You don't have to do the exercise I did. However, again, like I said, I was preparing for a bodybuilding competition. I want to maintain muscle, maintain strength. So it doesn't matter what exercise you do. All that matters is that you do some form of exercise. In theory, you don't have to exercise as long as you're eating in a deficit. But the benefit of exercising is that it increases your maintenance calories, which means you can eat more food and still lose weight as long as you're under your maintenance calories. Okay. So what I did was I lifted 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and my routine was push pull legs heavy, push pull legs volume. So push would be chest, shoulders, triceps. Um, pull would be lats, traps, biceps, and legs would be legs, and those would be heavy. So I would go from 4 to 8 reps, and after I could do 3 by 8, I would increase 1 rep each week on each exercise. And once I could do 3 by 8, I increased the weight by 5 to 10 pounds, and I would start at 4 by 4 and progress to 3 by 8 over the course of like 4 to 5 weeks. Then my next 3 days were push pull legs high volume. So I would train in the 8 to 12 rep range. And once I could do 3 by 12, I would start with 4 by 8, 4 by 9, 4 by 10, 3 by 12. And once I could do 3 by 12 over the course of 4 to 5 weeks, I would start over at 4 by 8, increasing weight by 5 to 10 pounds. So I did that 6 days a week, make good gains. In terms of cardio, I also did quite a bit of cardio. I started at 200 pounds, so I was only running 3 miles every single day, but I was consistent. It's not extremely far, but it's the consistency that matters. Okay, so I ran 3 miles every single day, and in my free time when I wasn't lifting or running, any downtime I had, I walked a lot. Um, I highly encourage you all to walk if you can do it, if you have free time, because walking, it's a really good way to burn calories relatively easily. So I walk a lot in my free time. What I like to do is just put on music, just go out and walk and vibe. And the sunshine is really good for your health. Tons of benefit from being out in the sun. So I highly encourage you to walk. Yeah, I walked a lot in my free time, and I still walk to this day. I walk a ton in my free time because keep in mind your maintenance calories, according to the TDE calculator, they're primarily dependent on the amount of steps you take in a single day. So, for example, someone who works at like a warehouse or a postal office worker, someone who takes lots of steps like them, or a landscaper, their maintenance calories are going to be a lot higher because they take a ton of steps compared to someone who works like an office job where they sit most of the day. So just keep in mind, the more steps you take, the higher your maintenance calories is. Walking and cardio can take your maintenance from 3,000 to 3,700, depending on how many steps you take, and that means you can go from eating 2,000 calories per day to 2,700 calories per day. And assuming you're still in a deficit of 1,000 calories every single day, you'll still lose 2 pounds of fat per week, but you'll be able to eat more calories, which in theory should make your diet more tolerable. But yeah, guys, that's all I've got for you guys today. That's how I lost 40 pounds in 90 days. If y'all are interested, I offer one-on-one coaching, how to bodybuild, how to get jacked, how to get shredded, how to be a hybrid, how to bodybuild and run concurrently, all that good stuff. Links in the bio if you're interested. If y'all like this video, subscribe and leave a like, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.